Hi guys, this is Coach Horty here for the Youth and Sports online class at Ohio University. I'd like to talk to the team today about why it is important for youth athletes to have moral and life development skills. In addition, I'm going to talk about a few coaching methods or examples that can be implemented into some youth coaching settings that will assist with sportsmanship and moral behavior. In addition, I'll give a few examples as to why each of these coaching methods will improve life skills in the youth athletes. So first, we're going to start off by talking about what life skills are. They're described in the book Best Practices for Youth Sport by Veely and Chase as moral values as well as other skills that enable us to succeed in the culture in which we live. So life skills can include physical competence, social competence, empathy, communication, and cognitive, emotional, and behavioral competence. Many parents and coaches of youth sport believe that essential life skills can be developed through youth sport. And these life skills include sportsmanship, working as a member of a team, developing communication skills, staying focused, and keeping your composure even when things aren't going your way. Life skills development is important because according to Veely and Chase of Best Practice for Youth Sport, it focuses on human skills that allow individuals to function as effective citizens within society. So now, what is moral behavior? Moral behavior is doing the right thing for the right reasons. There's a big difference between doing the right things because you want to get a benefit or some sort of incentive out of it, and there's a difference between doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do and it's the right thing that you feel you should do. So according to Veely and Chase, people act morally because they have thought through what is fair and what is compassionate, and they act based on the underlying moral values that are instilled in them. So it's extremely important to instill these values in children early and in youth sports because then they can make the decisions on their own in the future. And they'll make those decisions because they know that it's the right thing to do and not because they are looking to receive a call in favor of them from the referee. One of the moral values that was touched on in this chapter is sportsmanship. And in the research study, which is titled Promoting Sportsmanship in Youth Sports by Goldstein and Iso-Ahola, the NCAA is quoted as describing sportsmanship as a set of behaviors to be exhibited by athletes, coaches, officials, and fans in an athletic competition. These behaviors are based on such fundamental values as respect, fairness, civility, honesty, and responsibility. Sportsmanship is a type of moral behavior and life skill that can be developed in youth athletes, and it can be carried by this athlete for the duration of their life, even after their playing career ends. Sportsmanship teaches youth athletes how to act not only when they win, but also when they lose. So why is this all important? Well, developing moral behavior will help athletes later in life. According to Veely and Chase, it is important for youth sports to offer life lessons so that children can develop mature moral values that will help them reason through the many moral conflicts inherent in sport and in life. So just as in sports, not everything in life will go a person's way, and this is why it is important for youth athletes to learn how to deal with this adversity and this loss early on so that even long after their playing career ends, they're able to deal with that in life. If, for example, they lose a job or, they lose a loved one or something isn't going their way. So in addition, Goldstein and Iso-Ahola explain that using the essence of fair play and incorporating moral development initiatives within the physical education setting can be beneficial to all students. So through moral development in youth sport, athletes can learn life skills that will help them be successful later in life. Now we're going to start to talk about a few coaching method examples that can be implemented into youth coaching settings that will assist youth athletes in developing sportsmanship and moral behaviors. And then we're going to talk about how each of these coaching methods have examples as to how these can improve life skills of the youth athletes. So, the first coaching example would be to sponsor a moral quality within your team. So, you and your team can choose a moral quality that you would like to teach to the team, to teach to the youth athletes. And, let's say it's a word, such as fairness or sportsmanship. What you want to do is have the athletes look up the word, while they're at home and away from practice. And then athletes can bring in quotes or examples to practice that you can, read aloud to the team, or they can share with the team. You can post them on a bulletin board. You can also have this word printed on a T-shirt or on your jerseys. It can kind of be the, quote unquote motto for your team throughout the year. So actually, this is something that I was required to do when I was playing youth sport. I was probably 12 or 13 years old. And so every 2 or 3 weeks, the coaches picked a different word, and we were required with doing a little research on our own, and it really allowed us to understand what the word meant, and then we would go and implement that word in each of the practices and games throughout the year, and just kind of became our motto throughout the year, and helped us really develop an understanding of the word, and also morally develop that word into our being. So how will this improve moral behavior and life skills? Well, it will first teach the athlete what the word means. Second, it will require the athlete to research the word in quotes, and maybe during their research, they'll discover that some people, or maybe an athlete that they idolize, are the people that possess these moral qualities, and it may inspire them to develop these moral qualities in themselves. So as the team motto, the development of this virtue can also be stressed for a few weeks or all season to the athletes. And as it's stressed over the course of the season, this quality can be tested at practice and then discussed with the team afterwards. A second coaching example would be to sign a pledge with your team. So between the athletes and the coaches, you guys can come together and develop a pledge. And the pledge should outline a code of acceptable behaviors by the players, coaches, and the parents. So these behaviors should be morally sound and encourage sportsmanship and healthy competition. And players, coaches, and parents alike should all sign the pledge. So what that's going to do is, this will allow the players to see the behaviors that are considered morally acceptable, that are set forth by the parents and by the coaches. And by having the coaches and the parents sign this pledge as well, players will be inspired to abide by the coach, because they'll see that if the adults are following these moral behaviors, then these are probably the correct way to conduct themselves, and they'll feel responsible to live up to the code and to abide by the rules. So the consistent practice of these moral behaviors over the course of the season will drive these behaviors home for the players, and hopefully they will allow them to develop these morally for the rest of their lives. So another coaching example could be to develop a sportsmanship theme. So just develop a theme within your team that promotes sportsmanship. Some examples in the book written by Veely and Chase are honoring the game, together everyone achieves more, which is the team acronym, and winning with honor. So if you talk about this theme all season, and you should enforce it during practice and games alike, and the athletes should be encouraged to adopt this theme in life, not just while they're practicing or not just while they're playing games. So this can improve sportsmanship and life skills, because it will give athletes a sense of responsibility to uphold the theme. So if the entire team is practicing this theme, and the coach is living the theme as well, they'll feel a sense of responsibility to not want to let the team down, and they'll feel inspired to adopt this into their life as well. Athletes will consistently be reminded of morally accepted behaviors, as the theme for the team and for the athletes. There'll be just constant reminders, and once again, not wanting to let anyone down. It will stick with them. And another coaching example that can be used is to lose with honor. So one way to promote sportsmanship is to be, an honorable loser as well as an honorable winner. So in the report by Goldstein and Iso Ahola, there's a girls softball coach whose name is Paul Gilbert, and he teaches his athletes to play to win, but also to lose with honor. So what he does is, after his team loses, he has his girls go over to the other team's dugout, and they line up in a London Bridge type of a tunnel where the winning team will run through that tunnel, and his athletes will pat them on the back and congratulate them for the win. So according to Gilbert, this teaches them to be, great sportsmen, and it teaches them that winning isn't everything, and life is about more than just sports. So, he's quoted with saying that winning matters to his girls, but they were not consumed by it. So just in summary, it's extremely important for, youth athletes to learn life skills and moral behaviors, such as sportsmanship, because this will translate later in life, when they're done playing sports and when they go out into the real world and have to get jobs or want to start a family or do all the things that come after youth competitive sports. So it's a great way for them to learn how to act responsibly, how to act ethically, and how to act morally. And a few of the a few of the coaching examples that can be used to promote sportsmanship and to promote moral development in youth athletes are to sponsor moral quality for your team, to sign a pledge with your team, your coaches, and your parents, to develop a sportsmanship theme to be used throughout the season, and to teach your athletes how to lose with honor. So thank you for watching this presentation.